For what purpose does the gentleman from Minnesota seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House suspend the rules and pass H.R. 7314, the Access Act, as amended.
The clerk will report the title of the bill, please.
H.R. 7314, a bill to require the Secretary of State to submit to Congress a report on the People's Republic of China's support to the Russian Federation with respect to the unprovoked invasion of and full-scale war against Ukraine and for other purposes.
Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from Minnesota, Mr. Phillips, and the gentleman from South Carolina, Mr. Wilson, each will control 20 minutes. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Minnesota.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks and include extraneous material on H.R. 7314 as amended.
Without objection.
I yield myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in support of H.R. 7314, the Access Act, authored by our committee colleague, Representative Andy Barr. The world watched in horror as Russia launched its latest invasion of Ukraine, marking an egregious violation of Ukrainian sovereignty and a disdain for the rules-based international order. Russia has mercilessly killed thousands of innocent civilians. Graphic images of death and destruction from Bucha and Mariupol lay bare. There is no defense for Putin's barbarity. Amid this carnage, the international community has overwhelmingly come together to condemn Russia's brutal, unprovoked aggression against Ukraine and hold Russia accountable for the gross atrocities being committed. While China has tried to distance itself from Russia's war of choice against Ukraine, it has, at best, remained neutral in the face of this violence, demonstrating a woeful abdication of its self-proclaimed role as a responsible stakeholder. Worse, growing signs indicate that China is aligning itself more closely with Russia. Just before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, President Putin and Chairman Xi released a joint statement calling for closer strategic cooperation. While China has publicly denied any foreknowledge of the invasion, it discounted and ignored American intelligence showing Russian buildup around Ukraine. And at no point since the invasion began has China condemned Russia for its invasion, nor for its subsequent human rights atrocities. The PRC has chosen to employ a disinformation campaign to spread harmful narratives about Russia's assault on Ukraine. Both within China and abroad, the PRC is promoting Russian propaganda about the war and echoing Russia's absurd justifications for the invasion, going so far as accusing the United States for Russia's one-sided aggression. President Biden has warned China that there will be consequences if it decides to materially support Russia's war or if it helps skirt U.S. export controls and sanctions. H.R. 7314 would require the Secretary of State to report on any efforts made by the PRC to support Russia's unprovoked, unjust, and illegal invasion of Ukraine. This bipartisan measure is vital to ensure Congress and the American people stay informed about how, if at all, China might be supporting Russia in Ukraine. I support the swift passage of this timely and urgent bill and urge my colleagues to do the same. And with that, I reserve the balance of my time.